we'd like to call this meeting of the planning board on, what is it? March 16th. Bill, if you would do roll call.
Mr. Cunningham,
Here.
Mr. Minio,
Here.
Daniele,
Here.
Ms. Moran,
Here.
Ms. DiFilippo,
Here.
Mr. Florian,
Here.
Ms. McQuaid,
Here.
Ms. Choi is absent. Just quickly for the Zoom meetings, all the planning board has been doing Zoom meetings in a two-phase process. Tonight, there are no new items, so these have all been continued from the previous meeting from March 2nd. These should, well, for the ones that are going to move forward, I don't see the petitioner for the liquor license for 1380 Boston Road, so I think we can jump that one, and then there's a couple. The next two I'm gonna ask again, the zone change number 3327 for 914 Boston Road. I received an email from the attorney Paul Malik. They are close to getting the plans ready to submit to DPW, so he wanted, again, he's hoping to have those submitted and reviewed prior to the board taking action. So he has asked, he's hoping that it will be ready to go at the next meeting, but he was hoping to have this continued until the April 6th meeting. So the board's okay with that. We can just get a motion to.
I'll make a motion to continue.
Second.
So voting to continue zone change number 3227, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes.
Ms. DiFilippo,
Yes.
Mr. Florian,
Yes.
and Ms. McQuaid.
Yes.
Under the next item for the subdivision plan for Veterans Way, again, I had a chat with DPW this morning, and they are still waiting for kind of a finalized plan. There are some significant drainage issues that they've got to work with both the Conservation Commission and the Department of Public Works to rectify. That has not been done yet. I have not heard from the developer, so I tried to get a hold of them today, but didn't hear from them. So again, I would just ask that this be continued until the April 6th meeting.
I'll make the motion to continue to the April 6th meeting.
Second.
So voting to continue Veterans Way, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes.
Ms. DiFilippo,
Yes.
Mr. Florian,
Yes.
Ms. McQuaid.
Yes.
And again, because I don't see the petitioner, I think we would just move forward with the site plan review and see if they show up. But the next item would be the site plan review for 319 Parker Street for the construction of a new indoor self-storage facility. Just so the board is aware, I was forwarded the email from the Indian Orchard Citizens Council. They did a site visit on the January 4th, had a subsequent meeting on the 12th, and the board agreed to support the project. They also had a follow-up with the residents to make sure that there were no concerns from the residents, and as per the letter, no concerns were brought up, and the residents gave their support to the project. So
Okay, do any of the board members have any other questions?
just quickly, I sent a just to touch on a couple of the issues that were brought up last time. I sent a revised list of
Condition.
for this. The one that I added, again, I should have picked this up in my original review, but if the developer wishes to move forward with the signs above the first floor, that is going to trigger a special permit. If they decide not to, they can put them on the first floor without one, but I don't believe that should hold up the board's approval. You know, signage, again, if they're looking to do that particular signage, they would need a special permit. And the only other item that was mentioned, and I last time, with regards to where the dumpster was being located, I'm less concerned. You know, I did hear last time that, and I would just want to confirm that with the petitioners, that the dumpster would be completely enclosed and screened from the street. There is a significant grade from Parker Street, so I don't think you'd be able to see it from there either. So I have less concern with the placement of the dumpster. The zoning ordinance does specifically say that it can't be located within the front yard unless it is completely enclosed and screened. So assuming that's the case as it was last time, the condition about having to move the dumpster, I don't believe is necessary, assuming that they meet the screening and the enclosure.
Should
Yeah,
we just add it or?
Well, it's a condition now. I would just, if we make a
Okay.
motion, that it would just be to delete condition number 5, because that's the condition currently now states the dumpster needs to be moved. So I just would like, again, to confirm with the petitioner that the dumpster would be screened and enclosed.
Yes, this is Philip with W&A. I can confirm that it is completely enclosed with gates. And the gates face the building, not the street. So even when the gates are open, it doesn't face the street. And we will provide some landscape screening around the enclosure as well.
So
Okay.
I'm satisfied with that.
All right, then if there are no other questions or concerns, I will accept a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make a
Move to close the
motion.
hearing.
I'll second.
So voting to close the public hearing, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes,
Ms. DiFilippo,
Yes,
Mr. Florian,
Yes.
and Ms. McQuaid.
Yes,
The hearing is closed. Again, I don't believe we need to, I think if the motion is just that the, approve with the conditions and the underlying approval criteria, I don't believe we need to read all the conditions into the record. That will be part of the formal letter that's sent out, but I certainly defer to the board. I would recommend, though, if the board agrees with my recommendation about the dumpster, I would just make a motion that the condition number 5 be deleted, because that specifically talks about the dumpster being needed
okay.
moved.
Would somebody like to make a motion?
Make the motion to accept with deleting item number 5 from the current conditions.
Is there a second?
second.
Okay,
So voting to approve, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
yes,
Ms. DiFilippo,
yes,
Mr. Florian,
Yes.
and Ms. McQuaid.
Yes,
Motion's approved.
Thank you all.
you're welcome.
So on that note, I guess I'll go back to the top of the agenda. I don't see the petitioner for 1380 Boston Road. I did send him the link to the meeting, so I guess I would just recommend to the board that we continue this as well, the liquor license for 1380 Boston Road. I'm not sure unless he is here, but I do not see him.
Phil, could we close the hearing and approve this even if he wasn't here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you guys don't have any questions, I have been in contact with him. He has made several attempts to get a hold of the Indian Orchard neighborhood, and I believe he had. So I do think he made a good faith effort to get a hold of them. Again, I think at the end of the day, his hours were pretty, I think he said he was gonna be closed by 10 p.m. So I don't have an issue with approving this. I didn't have an issue. It was a restaurant. He's using the old Olive Garden and he's closing at 10. So I did not have, if the board wants to move ahead, I'm more than welcome to do that as well.
What do the board members think?
I'm okay with moving forward.
Yes.
yeah, I don't have any questions. I'm fine with it, especially with the hours and stuff, sure.
Okay, then I will accept a motion to close the hearing.
I'll make the motion to close the hearing.
I'll second.
Okay.
Voting to close the hearing, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes,
Ms. DiFilippo,
Yes,
Mr. Florian,
Yes.
and Ms. McQuaid.
Yes,
Hearing's closed.
do I have a motion to accept this petition?
Yeah, I'll
I make the,
Oh, go ahead.
okay. Okay, I make the motion to accept it with the following conditions. The hours of operation shall be as stated by the petitioner. There shall be no banners, streamers, or other promotional material located on the exterior of the building with the exception of a grand opening. Any and all signage shall be properly permitted.
Second.
Thank you.
So voting to approve the liquor license for 1380 Boston Road, Mr. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Minio,
Yes.
Mr. Daniele,
Yes.
Ms. Moran,
Yes,
Ms. DiFilippo,
Yes,
Mr. Florian,
Yes.
and Ms. McQuaid.
yes.
Okay,
terrific.
I don't have any non-subs off the top of my head. So the only other item that I had sent the email out to everybody on, I was just hoping to have a quick discussion, you know, as I indicated, the governor has extended the ability to do Zoom meetings, but with a big caveat that now in order to hold a meeting via Zoom, there has to be an option for someone to view the meeting in, you know, quote unquote, real time. So the issue with that is for city council, Focus airs those meetings. I don't have that ability because of the number of meetings that Focus is doing. They can't air everybody's meeting. There is an option about Facebook Live. I have no clue what that is, so I don't know whether we even have a Facebook. The only other option, you know, I was, as I put out there, we can either start meeting in face-to-face down where we usually do. I do know the school committee has been meeting there, and they do have the partitions up. You know, we can do that. The other option that I would throw out there is, you know, if the board's not comfortable meeting face-to-face, I could hold the, you know, I could advertise to have the public come into our conference room here at Tapley Street, which has a video, you know, the Zoom process. So theoretically, someone could sit in that room and watch the meeting. That's how I think that's really the only other way I can figure out how to do it and allow people to watch real time. I've been told a number of times not to give the link out to the Zoom meetings because I would have to publish that. So once it's in the newspaper, there's just concerns about who's getting the link and who's going to jump into the meetings and what they're going to do. So I guess I leave it up to the board. Those are really the two options I have. We go back to meeting down at the planning board room, or we can continue Zooms, and those who want to come in are more than welcome to sit in the conference room, or I can set up the meetings in there and have the general public sit in there. So I defer to you guys. I think at the end of the day, the option to do Zooms is going to end. I don't know when, but I think in July, I think.
I think it's July.
Yeah, so it's up to you guys. I don't know how comfortable you guys are or what.
I'm fine going downtown.
Me too.
I'm fine
Me
either
too.
way.
And just so,
What
I mean,
time,
I
will
would
they
move-
change, will the time change back to 6 o'clock though?
Well, I mean, I think for Rico's sake, I think that in order to get there, I think we'd have to go back to 6.
Okay,
I'd like to keep it earlier, but I understand people have to have time to be able to get to the meeting. So I would suggest we go back to 6 if we're going to do face-to-face, but
I like 5:30.
I do, but I think Rico's going to, I'll leave it to Rico if he's going to.
Someone's got banker's hours.
Yeah.
Her name Rosemary.
Yeah.
But you do whatever you want. I recommend maybe leave it at these Zoom meetings until July. And then from there, we'll take it to maybe downtown where we used to be. Continue this until July. That's what I recommend.
Leo, what about you?
Like, we're having a meeting after this meeting with people here in our office. I mean, we're done with the Zoom.
They want to put a marijuana place here on Main Street, South End.
You know?
Yes,
So
I do.
whatever you vote's fine with me.
I mean, again, if, I guess I do, I mean, the issue is I've got to advertise for the next hearing tomorrow, so I do need kind of a decision on how we're gonna do it, because I've got to, one way or the other, I've got to advertise the new hearings to either show up at City Hall or show up at Tapley Street, so I don't know if you want.
I think everybody, and you please correct me if I'm wrong, that everybody's in favor of going downtown except Rico, who would like to continue.
We'll
the
go
Zoom.
down, we'll go downtown.
Okay,
with
then
you.
is that everybody in agreement?
Gloria, you're the boss.
No, I'm not the boss.
And
I'm
again,
asking
you
her opinion.
you certainly, again, I just looked at the YouTube of the school committee meeting. There are the partitions up between each person, and you guys are more than welcome to wear masks if you don't feel comfortable. And I think we try it, and then if for some reason we have to go back, we can go to that other option. But it also saves, just so everybody knows, it reduces the advertising costs for the petitioner, because the ads go back down to about a third of what they are now. So they're usually, during Zoom, these ads were close to $1,400.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's fine.
So-
So by next meeting, 6 o'clock in City Hall.
Okay, well, I will move forward with that directive and advertise the hearing. I think we have two new items to don't change in a liquor license. So I will advertise those for the general public to show up downtown if they wish to come.
Okay,
I
all
know,
right.
Rosemary looks a
Okay.
little shaky. We better put a mask on her.
All right, I'll
Well, I
make
could
a
just get a
motion to
motion
close the
to-
hearing.
Close the hearing or end the meeting?
Yeah,
Make the
I'll make a
close.
motion to.
Second.
Second.
all those in favor, aye.
I.
All right.
Okay, see you in April.
All righty, thank
You
you.
got it.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Have a
Bye.
good night all. Thank you.